Now, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of these terrorists being known to authorities. It feels like it's almost every single time. Priti Patel is launching an inquiry into whether or not the Prevent scheme is fit for purpose. Well, let's all just savour a bit of time, shall we, and say no. No, it doesn't seem like it is. People are tripping over themselves to blame this on the discourse, the political discourse. What a load of rubbish. Absolute tosh. I don't think this has anything to do with political discourse, but it's got everything to do with radical Islam. Yet again, do any of us honestly believe that this guy, or indeed anyone else, is radicalised by some fruity language at PMQs? No, of course not. In fact, reports suggest that this guy was radicalised, allegedly anyway, by one and only Anjem Choudhury, because apparently he watched the hate preacher's tirades online. This is the same hate preacher, of course, who is now out of prison and free to roam the streets of Britain, despite allegedly having a direct link to more terror attacks on UK soil than you can shake a big jihadi stick at. If our political discourse is to blame, then how do we explain what happened in Norway? How do we explain the Bataclan, Charlie Hebdo, all of the Christmas market attacks in Germany, the Auckland supermarket attack in New Zealand, Nice, Barcelona? Was 7/7 anything to do with the way that we speak to each other about Brexit? No. It seems it's almost always singularly about radical Islam, and I'm fed up of our politicians and vast swathes of our media making excuses for it. Why do we have bollards and barriers on the side of the road in almost every major Western city? We're not protecting ourselves from the Mormons, are we? Oh, it's those Jehovah's Witnesses again, is it? No, it's not. It's radical Islamic terror, more or less every single time. And I'm sick and tired of hearing that they've all got mental health problems as well. The mental health problem is radical, murderous death cult interpretation of Islam. That's the mental health problem. Now, it's not Islam itself at all. It's not Muslims at all. It's a warped interpretation of that religion. And people are too afraid to say what we're all thinking. Well, I'm never afraid to say it. I think we have a massive problem with Islamist terror in this country. And not only are we doing precious little about it, we're actually aiding and abetting it. Curran Butt of Borough Market fame, for example, was filmed hoisting an ISIS flag in Regent's Park. He was in a Channel 4 documentary called The Jihadi Next Door. Forget the ISIS flag, what about a massive red one? Usman Khan, convicted of terror offences in 2012, de-radicalised, killed 2 people outside Fishmongers Hall. Mohammed Shahjan, convicted of wanting to blow up the London Stock Exchange. He was released after serving half of his sentence. So apparently, if you want to blow up the London Stock Exchange in the name of radical Islam in this country, you serve about 8 years in prison. What an absolute joke. Habib Ahmed from Manchester, convicted of literally directing terrorism on behalf of Al-Qaeda. 5 years he got, out and about now. We cannot let our politicians get away with taking the easy way out on this. We cannot let them get away with letting them blame this on the rhetoric, on the political discourse. Let's have this right. One of their own was murdered, butchered. Even though it was one of their own colleagues, they're still trying to hide behind these made-up rubbish excuses, shifting the blame onto something else, instead of fronting up to what I believe is the real issue. We have radicalisation taking place in this country on an industrial scale. And we have a Prevent scheme that doesn't appear to work, and politicians who are, in my opinion, too afraid of being called racist to actually get in amongst it and tackle this problem head on. How many more people have to die? How many more?